And welcome back to Amboy Clippers football right here on River Country 101.7. Clippers trail 12-8 at halftime to the Milford Bearcats here at home. And joining us up here in the booth is Kyle Kampmeyer of NUICfootball.com. And Kyle, you may have heard us referencing you on every game so far, talking about the rankings. And you're the only one doing these 8-man rankings. So I'm curious, take me through the process of ranking these teams, because I don't envy you in terms of trying to figure out who's better between Milledgeville, Polo, West Central, and, now Amboy. I'm sure losing the starting quarterback is going to affect the rankings a little bit when you come through, but take us through a little bit of that process and how this works.
Well, so last year I started doing the 8-man rankings for the first time, and, I've been putting out state rankings for quite a few years now at the 11-man level, but 8-man last year was the first time I really did it. Dove deep into covering 8-man football for the first time, and so I got a little bit acquainted with what teams were strong. I knew that, Milford Cisna Park was a strong team. They've had a lot of success in their transformation to the 8-man game. And then you just kind of follow along. I had some Twitter hits from kids down at Decatur Luther that said, hey, come watch us, and things like that. But as far as ranking them, I take information from last year. I try to do the best I can, looking at what teams have coming back into the new year, kind of looking at what their strength of schedules are, how competitive they're going to be. And then, by doing that and putting it out there, you get information back from different people. Well, you should be looking at Pawnee, or you should be looking at St. Thomas More, something to that degree. And then I start to research those teams. I start to look at where they're at in the season, what their games look like, stuff like that. But I have a panel of myself and 5 other members throughout the state that help me put the rankings together. So it gives me a good broad selection of people to choose from, that I can trust their information on what they see, so we can put out an unbiased state ranking.
And so you said last year was your first year covering this 8-man game. So take us through kind of your feeling in terms of, I can tell you're a football guy just from listening to you talk about it. So take us through how you feel about this 8-man game versus what you're used to seeing on this 11 on 11. And now you're kind of an 8-man specialist. You got to go now and see all these teams.
Well, it's kind of funny. I was talking to Orangeville coach Jay Doyle earlier today, and it was a question that we had conversed on, and it was about, I get questioned a lot. Do you really like the 8-man game? And that answer is absolutely. I love the 8-man game. Yes, it's not traditional, but what's fun is especially when you get 2 of your top-tier teams, you get a lot of play action, and there's a lot of speed to the game still. And, it really exploits your explosive players. And you really have to enjoy the game of football. And then you got to expect that there's going to be large scores. Everybody's like, well, 8-man's not real football. Well, no, it really is real football. I mean, go down to Texas, and they got 232 teams playing 6-man football. Try telling them they're not playing real football, So this is real football. It's a different kind of X's and O's, but the game speed is similar to the 11-man game, but you get a lot more wide open field. I mean, instead of trying to beat 2 safeties, you're just trying to beat 1. And getting to the second level, it's one cut and gone at sometimes, and that makes it electrifying to me.
You have to wonder when you get up to that collegiate level, when you see some of the 8-man players who are going to transition to that 11-man game, and you stick them as cornerbacks. I mean, they've been playing man-to-man coverage. They've been manning up on people for 4 years, and that's all they play most of the time. You don't really see too much zone. So you just wonder if that makes for better man coverage, or if that makes for better coverage in general.
I think it does. I think you can really translate the speed of the 8-man game to the college game. And, you talk to different college coaches, and, they don't just recruit 11-man football because they play 11-man football. They're looking for the best athletes regardless of what type and style of football you play, because, they want speed. They want people that can man up. They want people that can play zone. They want people that can shoot the gaps and be able to play any type of coverage that fits their schemes, defensively or offensively for that matter. And, the 8-man game can really exploit how fast a kid really is. Size is always relevant. You can always see that regardless of what level of football you're playing. So it comes down to how fast can you really be, and 8-man really exploits that a lot.
So, final question here for you, Kyle. Thanks for joining us, obviously, but what are you expecting for the second half of this game?
Well, like you stated already on the broadcast, Amboy being down Tucker Lindemeyer kind of hurts what Amboy can do. Obviously, he's one of the most electrifying players in all of 8-man and all-stater last season. Obviously, a senior leader this year for the Clippers, and his absence is definitely noticeable. But, Milford Chisholm Park's the real deal. I mean, they're ranked number 5 in our rankings right now, and they're putting on a good show as expected. That's part of the reason why I decided to choose this game to come to. It was either this one or Milledgeville Polo, which that seems to be a pretty good game going on over there in Milledgeville as well. But, as far as this game goes, really, Amboy's just got to be able to stop the passing game. They're doing a good job cutting down the running game. It's really been a defensive slugfest. I think things might start to open up a little bit. Amboy's got to figure out some things offensively, get the ball moving a little bit better and more efficiently than they are currently. But I think we're in for a good second half. Obviously, the first half's definitely precluded that. So,
Kyle Kampmeyer, NUICfootball.com, the official location of all 8-man football rankings. So check with them every week and see where your Clippers end up. And we'll see if Amboy can retain their number 1 spot, if they can come away with a victory here at Milford. Thanks for joining us, Kyle. Appreciate it. We'll be back with the second half and halftime adjustments right here on River Country 101.7.